بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وبه نستعين وهو خير ناصر ومعين. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to question time. We left you with a question. I was expecting maybe some of the viewers could give us a call. They can call and ask or share in Urdu if they want. That's perfectly all right. And I could manage to speak or answer in Urdu as well, so that's not a problem at all. As we are falling short of time, I would go ahead and explain that hadith which I said, Al-Mu'min Miratul Mu'min. See, Al-Mu'min is the name of Allah. Allah is Al-Mu'min. Now Allah as Al-Mu'min, Al-Mu'min Miratul Mu'min, and there's the other Mu'min as a Mu'min, as an insan. So the Mu'min, who is that earthly Mu'min, if you want to call, or an insan, he is nothing but the reflection of the divine, of Al-Mu'min, which is Allah. So Allah, so that this Mu'min, this earthly Mu'min, is the reflection, is the reflection of Al-Mu'min, which is Allah. So this is the Kamal, this is the perfection of a Mu'min. So when Allah is saying that, when Imam Sadiq alayhi salam is saying that in the hadith, that Inna Allah Azza wa Jal, فَوَضَّى إِلَى الْمُؤْمِنِ أُمُورُ كُلِّهَا, that Allah have given all umur in the hands of a Mu'min. Actually, it is in the hand of Al-Mu'min, because this Mu'min is a reflection of that Mu'min. That's what it's trying to point out to. So an insan kamil, a true Mu'min, is God-like. His sitting, his eating, his drinking, his akhlaq, his behavior, whatever he does, it reflects God. That's what it's trying to point out to. Now, this hadith which says that, Allah have given all umur in the hands of a Mu'min, he is that powerful. So Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, being the true reflection or being a true Mu'min, managed to do that. What Imam Sadiq alayhi salam have done is a work of million people or million organization. Today, all across the world, we have so many centers, we have so many Husainiyas, we have so many masajid, but what Imam Sadiq alayhi salam have done, what they are doing today in the propagation of Islam is 0.1% compared to what Imam Sadiq alayhi salam did. So Al-Mu'min have that power to do so. Now the other part of the hadith is very beautiful, which says that أَن يَكُونَ وَلَمْ يُفَوِّضْ, Allah haven't given him the power to make him disrespect or dishonor him. Zalil, he has no right to dishonor himself. A Mu'min cannot dishonor himself. That it says that ma tasma'u, then the Imam says that ma tasma'u Allah Ta'ala yaqulu walillahi al-izzatu walirasulihi walilmu'minin walillahi al-izzatu walirasulihi walilmu'minin. Haven't you heard? Yeah, there's a call there. Haven't you heard? Yes, Bismillah, brother.
Hello.
Hi, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you for taking my call. I had a question regarding today's topic on Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam and the schools that he had established.
Bismillah.
So the question is that from Western books we hear that a lot of the studies were imported from, for example, the Greeks and different cultures and nations, and then they were taken into Arabia and then discussed and changed and then attributed to the faith. So can you explain our position on this?
Yes. Very interesting question, very good question, mashallah. Thank you very much, sister, for taking time and giving us a call. Now, indeed, see, knowledge, like we said, it expands, and the predecessors or people, the founding fathers of the school of philosophy, such as Plato and Aristotle, who talked about Tawheed, and who were praised by Imam Jafar as-Sadiq alayhi salam. In one of the hadiths, Imam Jafar as-Sadiq alayhi salam talks very high about Plato and Aristotle. He says that may Allah bless Aflatun, Arastu, may Allah bless Plato, may Allah bless Aristotle. They were the men of God, and they invited people with burhan, with proof towards Tawheed, towards oneness of God. Now this doesn't mean that Imam Sadiq alayhi salam is using the same Platonic argument to teach Tawheed. It's a continuation of the message of Tawheed. Just like how Hazrat Adam alayhi salam brought the message of Tawheed, then Hazrat Nuh alayhi salam, then Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, Hazrat Isa, and then our Prophet. So the Prophet is not stealing or taking or replicating or copying from the message of the previous Prophet. This is the Oriental approach. That's what they say, that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was very smart, he studied the Bible, he studied the Torah, and then he came up with the book, the Quran. No, Quran is it's a revelation directly given to the Prophet, right? So the same way, the knowledge of Imam Sadiq alayhi salam is nothing but something that is inspired and directly given. Yes, those things were talked about previously in Greek philosophy, or in other sort of sciences, even, for example, chemistry or mathematics, things were talked about. But Imam Sadiq alayhi salam approached the same issue, the same sort of understanding of Tawheed, but in a very organic way. And then he kind of added onto the same existing structure of Platonic or Aristotelian argument that was there, but he beefed it up in a more beautiful way, But it wasn't like he borrowed it from there. No, it is ilm is something that it continues, and it is added and founded, that he is the founding father of this knowledge. So I think I kind of try to answer your question, sister. So it's nothing that is like a cheating or anything like that, na'uzu billah, but rather it is something that is a continuation of the same ulum and same knowledge, just like how the message of Islam continued from different prophets. Now going back onto the hadith that we were mentioning, and the beautiful part of this hadith is that izzat, honor, Allah have given all umur, all commands, everything, whatever He wants, in the hands of a mu'min. But He has refrained something. What He has refrained is that izzat. The mu'min, like I myself, doesn't have the right to disrespect myself. I myself do not have the right to dishonor myself. I have to have that sort of izzat for myself. I should not sell my izzat and sell my honor. Now there's a difference. This doesn't mean that I should be arrogant. We are talking about izzat and honor here. And then the Imam continues, ma tasma'u Allah, haven't you heard what Allah have said in the Quran? Yaqul, that walillahi al-izzah, izzat belongs to Allah, izzat belongs to Rasul, and izzat belongs to mu'mineen. So it is so that means the izzat of a mu'min is the izzat of Rasul. The izzat of Rasul is the izzat of Allah. So if I disrespect myself, I do not have the right. On the other in other words, or a parallel to this is that you do not have the right to disrespect another mu'min as well, because his izzat is the izzat of Rasul, is the izzat of Allah. So I cannot talk about another mu'min in a disrespectful fashion. So if there be a center and there is politics going on, trustees against each other, president against the trustees or the community, or community complaining against the trustees or the president or the Maulana, we have to keep in mind the honor and izzat of that person. He is a mu'min, and we have to keep in mind the izzat of that person. If I disrespect that mu'min, that means I'm disrespecting God. So that's what the mu'min, he himself, meaning that me as a mu'min, right, we all call each other as mu'min, liable of making mistakes. That's why you have Surah Hujurat. In Surah Hujurat, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continuously says that, innamal mu'minun, oh certainly mu'minins, oh innal mu'minin, do not do this, do not do that, do not raise your voice, do not backbite, do not make fun of each other, do not trust in someone who brings the news. All Surah Hujurat is addressed to mu'mineen. If the two mu'min fight with each other, yes, the possibility of ikhtilafat, fighting is there, but we are talking about izzat. So the mu'min, he himself do not have the right to dishonor himself. So he should not be doing those things which bring about disrespect to his personality. He shouldn't be doing that. The greatest sin in the nutshell, because we do not have time to go to the nitty-gritty of it, is committing a sin. A mu'min should not commit a sin which brings about disrespect. For example, a mu'min drinking, for example, he calls himself and he drinks. That brings disrespect because he's committing that sin. As it says that Imam Hasan al-Askari alayhi salam says that ma taraka al-haq azizan illa dhalla wala akhadahi dhalilan illa izza. There isn't any haq that there isn't any aziz who do not fulfill the haq, the right of whatever, the right of, I don't know, the animal, the right of neighbor, the right of hukuk, of people. So therefore, an aziz will not leave any right and he will become zalil, and a zalil will not remain zalil by fulfilling the right of others. That means when I am fulfilling the right of everything, then I am bringing izzat to myself. If I am not fulfilling the rights, haq and hukuk of others and myself, my eyes have a haq on me, my ears have a haq on me, my tongue have a haq on me, right on me, and I should be taking care of these. So if I'm not taking care of my eyes, if I'm not taking care of my ears, if I'm not taking care of my tongue, then I'm not fulfilling my right towards them. When I'm not fulfilling my rights towards them, I'm bringing zillat upon to myself, and I do not have the right to do so according to Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. So the maktab, the school of thought of Ahl Bayt alayhi salam, is based upon honor, is based upon izzat. Now, let me tell you this. As the mu'min doesn't have the right to disrespect and dishonor himself, then that means he should not be taking charge of a duty, of a task which he is not capable of. If he is not capable of giving time to the community by becoming the president, he should not be taking that, because it will bring zillat to him. By being the trustee, he is not being able to give time to his community, to build the community, to give time, then he shouldn't be doing that. If he is a Maulana and he is not capable of dedicating his life for the cause of Ahl Bayt alayhi salam, he is thinking of himself, then he should not be in this field. You see, that is izzah. If he is in that field and he is worried about his pocket, if he is worried about his sort of prestige and izzat is different. Prestige and honor is different. He is worried about his personal prestige, then obviously he should not be there. See, he should resign from this post by being a president or trustee or whatsoever, for example, right? So if he's a teacher, he should resign from this post of teaching, if he doesn't respect that position, that maqam that he has, and he's not fulfilling the right of that position. So here Then Imam Sadiq continues. He says, Innal mu'mina azz min al-jabal. A mu'min is much more mightier than the mountain. Right? Right? He's much more stronger than the mountain. Right? So therefore, the foundation of the school of thought of Imam Sadiq alayhi salam is the foundation based upon honor, upon might, upon izzah. That is the foundation based upon. And that's how our center should be, our community should be, our masajid should be mighty, should be strong, should have its own honor. It should be known for that. The way it functions, the way it does things, right? Now, let me tell you one more hadith which is from Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. As we were talking about mu'min, this is also very important hadith from Imam Sadiq, and I would like to interpret this hadith, give you a bit of a commentary here as we have time, and that is, see, mu'min and his honor is respectful. One have to hide the faults of a mu'min. One should not speak about that. One should not make a mu'min embarrass. It's quite important. The reason why? Because Imam Sadiq alayhi salam says that as alimul ghayb wa shahada, the same way as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is knowledgeable in regards to all ghayb. He is shahada, he is witnessing, he sees everything that is ghayb. So the same way as Allah knows the ghayb, and he is sattarul uyub, and he hides the ghayb, the same way one should hifz the asrar of others, one should protect the honor and hide the faults of others, and this is one of the responsibility of a true mu'min. Because al-izzatu lillahi wa li rasulihi wa li mu'minin, because the honor is of Allah and is of Rasul and is of a mu'min. Why the hadith says that if a person makes an error, if a mu'min makes an error, then bring 70 reasons for his mistake or for his error. Bring 70 reasons and then persecute him after bringing 70 reasons. A person comes late. Well, maybe car broke down, maybe something came up, maybe something happened, maybe an emergency or whatever. Prior to that, what is our habit is we are first in criticizing and raising fingers, pointing fingers, and bringing down the personality of the person if he made a mistake or an error. But we have to keep that in mind, that one should be careful in terms of, protecting the errors or mistake or the asrar. We have to protect that. Now, as this hadith was related to the hadith of izzat of mu'min, and that belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now going back onto the model of Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, this was number one. The second point in regards to the model of Imam Sadiq alayhi salam is the model of ilm and deen, is the model of ilm and deen, which means that he has based his school on the basis of knowledge and on the basis of deen. Ilm is one wing for that flight, for that plight, if you want to call, and deen is another wing to fly, to make it perfect, that society, that jami. Knowledge is not itself is not sufficient enough, and deen and religious practices is not sufficient enough as well. Now you might ask that, knowledge is nothing but deen. Yes, that is true, but we are talking about a comparison to the model that we have seen in history, and that is, for example, those who were religious called to burn Galileo, who discovered that Earth is the center of the solar system. Those Christians, those priests, those religious sort of ministers, so we are talking about religion. Religion condemned the knowledge, the discovery, the science. So here, deen coming in opposition to knowledge, that is not deen. We are talking about deen that is compatible, that is in line, and that helps and provides that religiosity, that spirituality, that cultural sort of structure, form, shakl, form, colors to that knowledge. It is very important. Then at the same time, we also have seen this very deen, this very religion, who calls for burning of the Quran in the church, which happened in America. The priest was calling that the Quran should be burned, and they did in the church. This is religion. So a deen, a religion, cannot be against knowledge. It's very similar to how they condemned Galileo. Now they are condemning the Quran, for example. See, but the Quran is the book of religion. And then at the same time you have that ilm as well. So now these two wings together, flying towards making that society, making that community, structuring and shaping it up. If there is something that is missing from the Quran, just the knowledge itself, it could be the model of secularism, right? And if there is only purely religion and there is no understanding or no promotion or no engagement of knowledge, then that will be the model of fanaticism, fundamentalism, if you want to call today, or that will be a model of what we have seen, in the Renaissance, what happened to Christianity, where they criticize the, scientists, for instance, or even in this contemporary era, that priest who call for the burning of the Quran, for example, is religion. It's purely religion as such, without even understanding what Quran is, what is this book of knowledge and science, this book is, right? So Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, his model based on that is that dignity, honor and might. And that's why the tashayyu, the school of thought, the true Islam today, in the school of thought of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, have that might, have that honor, have that respect. You go in any schools of thought, when it comes to Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, how high esteem they are in regards to them, how much praise, how much they praise Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, how Imam Sadiq alayhi salam is praised, right? So alhamdulillah, we claim and we say that we are the followers of the maktab of Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. So therefore we have to look into the teachings of Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, the school of Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. It was really based on what? During the Imam Sadiq alayhi salam period, there was rivalry going on, there was war going on, Muslims were fighting with Muslims, and then the Shias, the followers of Ahlul Bayt alayhi salam, they came to Imam Sadiq and he said, it is a good time to do tijarat, to do business, to sell arms. A person comes to Imam Sadiq and he says that as they are fighting, now it is a good business to sell arms. Can we do that? It is jaiz, it is halal that we sell arms, arms and so on and so forth, because it's required. Both parties, they need to, as they are fighting with each other, let's sell arms, do business, right? Is it required? Imam Sadiq alayhi salam said, Yes, it is halal to sell, but you can sell the armor that is to difa, that is to protect, but not to kill. Sell the shields, but not the sword, for example. Islam, the Maktab of Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, promotes life. See how Imam Sadiq alayhi salam in this hadith, he says, yes, it is halal to sell armor, but you should sell the armor which is utilized or which is used in protecting life, but not the armor which is utilized in taking life. Regardless of that be, they are your enemies. Regardless of two enemies fighting, let them fight, let them be killed. I will sell them arms, they will kill each other, and I will make money, and at the same time it will be good for me. You know, our maktab will go higher, for example. You know, this is how we tend to reason our sales, right? But excuse me, Imam Sadiq said, no. Life is of value. Regardless of that life be of a mushrik or a munafiq or whatever, it is valuable. Life is of value. You should celebrate life, because there is always a possibility that one might return to understand. And that's what we have seen, and that's what Imams and our maktab teaches us, to give as much as they can till the last second, till the last breath. Oh Shimr, sitting on the chest of Hussein, Hussein says, let me go. To protect Shimr, not to protect his life. I had mentioned this earlier. So that Shimr be protected from the azab of Allah, Hussein is saying, let me go. Right? That's how the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam taught us. So, because this philosophy is based on the Quran, as the Quran clearly says, if you take one innocent life, Islam says, Quran says, if you take one innocent life, it is as if taking the life of all humanity. And if you give one life, it is giving life to all humanity, if you protect one life. So, thank you very much, our Mu'mineen and Mu'minat. I give my condolences upon this sad occasion of Imam Sadiq alayhi salam to all our viewers, to the Imam of our time, and we take leave, and inshallah we'll see you next week again in question time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.